Good morning, you wonderful bunch of people. It's come to the end of my week off of work, so I've got to go back to work tomorrow, because today being a Sunday. So I thought I'd have a little bit of a play around in the garage this morning. I don't know what the time is, it's about 6:30. Somebody asked in a previous video, what is this charger? It's an RC6 VSR, whatever that means. Overlander. It's an Overlander RC6 VSR. Good charger. Charges lipos very well, and it puts them in storage mode, which is brilliant. The other charger I've got doesn't do storage mode. This one does do storage mode, so, and it's quite an inexpensive charger as well. Get them from Model Sport and Wheelspin Models. This one comes from Wheelspin Models. Yeah, good charger. Just having a bit of a move around here, and I remember some of you saying in the comments about this Serio 5000 and 4000, 3000. Well, I had the 4000 and the 3000 on separate cars. I had the 4000 on a van, a Renault Traffic van, and I just literally, like some of you were saying that you have the triple mag mount because you didn't trust it. Well, I had it on this. I had it on this one, ML, whatever this is, don't know, 145 I think, something like that. And I had the 3000 on that little one there, which is now got the Ham King on it. But yeah, I had the 3000 on that little one and the 4000 on this one. And I went sort of 80-90 mile an hour down motorways, and it never came off. The antenna itself hit the, you know when you go through the McDonald's drive-thrus and they got the height restrictions. Yeah, man, it hit a few of them, because that used to start hitting about there somewhere. So then you still got all that antenna, but it used to hit about there somewhere, and it used to just go. It used to make funny noises. It used to go. But yeah, man, it never moved an inch. That thing stuck to the roof like no tomorrow. It didn't really need a triple magma, but yeah, one of these ones does perfect for one of the high power, the HP 4000s. I don't know about a 5000, but a 5000 slightly longer, but I think that'd be fine as well. Go around motorways and under restrictions and all sorts. I even went in a multi-story car park, and it was going, you know, like all the roof, it's like girder sort of things made out of concrete. It was going, never even moved it. Didn't even move. I've got a question for you lot, right? It's just a general question, right? I don't necessarily want to start going into the correct... Well, I do want the correct answer, but you know. What do you say, right? When you're in with your fridge, right? And you want the temperature to go down, right? Do you say, I'm going to turn the fridge down? Or do you say, I'm going to turn the fridge up? Right? When you want the temperature to go up in the fridge because it's too cold, do you say, I'm going to turn the fridge up? Or do you say, I'm going to turn the fridge down? Think about it for a minute and think why I'm asking you this question. The reason I'm asking you this question is because I often have the small debate with people, especially me and my missus, because she says turn the fridge up because the numbers go up. The higher the number, the colder the fridge will be. Whereas I say turn the fridge down because I want the temperature to go down. So if I wanted the temperature to go down, I'd turn it to a higher number. Because that's how it works. Higher number, colder the fridge. Lower the number, the warmer the fridge. That's how fridges work. Thermostat's there. Yeah, it's just each individual person uses different things, but I think it's interesting the way people think. So how do you think? What do you say? If you want the fridge to go colder, but the number has to go higher, obviously, would you say turn the fridge up or turn the fridge down? I say turn the fridge down. A lot of people say turn the fridge up because the number goes up. Look at this fantastic old radio. This was made before I was even born. But look at the design of it, man. It is brilliant. It truly is absolutely brilliant. It was my dad's. He used to use it. I don't really know what he used it for, but I think he had it on in his garage and that when he was working on stuff. Maybe when he was out on a job, because he was a painter and decorator, so maybe he had it out on the jobs and stuff. And a friend of mine that I knew from CB, he said, you know what, I'll clean it up and get it working for you. And he did, and then he had an heart attack and died. So there's two kind of sentimental things to this radio for me. One, that it was my dad's. My dad is still alive, but he gave it to me. And then the person who cleaned it all up and got all the insides of it clean and got it actually working is now dead. So it's yeah, it's special radio in 2 different ways. But I just love the design of these radios. Look at the design of it, absolutely brilliant. Sometimes I look at stuff like this and I think, well, I wasn't even alive when stuff like this was being made, because this was a 1980s radio, early 80s. And I just think everything seems so much better, you know. It's almost as if I want to go back to then. It's like I look at today and I think today is nice, but when I look back at footage, you know, photographs, videos, like videotapes or whatever, or just general, you know, films or anything from the 70s and 80s, everything just seems so much better, and everybody seems so much more happier, man. Oh, everybody just seems happy. Everybody seems miserable these days. You know, it's just, I think life is making people miserable these days, and I don't like it, man. You look at the old cars and stuff driving around. There's a few channels I watch on this YouTube thing. And they've got like old cars and they restore old cars, classic Britain and all that kind of stuff. And I think to myself, man, them cars, they're the ones. People were happy back then when people were driving those cars around. Yeah, there was problems. There was problems here and there, you know, with whatever. But everybody, I reckon, was much happier back in the 70s and 80s. And my dad said it the other day. We were sitting in the garden, and he's in his 70s now. He's just turned 70. And he said, everybody seemed much happier back when I was younger. So then I was like, why? And I was just like, I don't know, everyone just seemed much happier. Everybody these days seems to be miserable, very miserable. It's like my neighbour next door. He's a miserable... Every time I walk past him, he's got a miserable face on him, you know. It's like this atmosphere. It's like a dark cloud, and you walk around, you know, you don't want to be around him. It's just like this dark, tense atmosphere. And I just think, man, why is everyone so miserable these days? Why can't everybody be happy? I'm happy all the time. You know, I appreciate everything. But I just look back at old stuff like that old radio, and I just think, I wish sometimes, well, I don't wish, you've got to be careful what you wish for, because wishes do come true. But I look back and ponder what it would be like, you know, if things would be like what it was in the 70s and 80s. Because when we didn't have, you know, too much technology. Because don't forget, technology is good. Because technology, you know, specifically in the medical world, it can help you become well again after you become ill. People have heart attacks. They can not fix them, but they can make them better for a while anyway. You know what I'm trying to say. Different illnesses. Technology is really good in one way. In other ways, it's not so good, because everybody's stuck to their phone all the time. And they try to do so much more, try to cram so much into one day, and then they get stressed because it doesn't work, and everybody just seems very miserable and stressed all the time. But back in the 70s and 80s, before, when that little radio was made, there was moderate technology. But, you know, Facebook didn't exist, Twitter didn't exist, YouTube didn't exist. I wouldn't be able to do these videos, but I just think everyone would be so much happier again, I think. You know, looking back at old video footage, homemade video footage of people out and about, or even just films, news reports even news reports from the 70s and 80s. They're so much happier. News reports now, if you go and watch the BBC News or ITV News now, right, guarantee it'll be 3 stabbings, Bank Holiday Monday, people doing drugs, people you know, attacking other people, all this really negative stuff. Why they need to report it, I don't know. Why can't they report on some positive stuff? There's loads of positive stuff still, I don't know. But it's all negative, putting in people's head, making them miserable. I don't watch the news, because why would I want to watch the news when they just report on crap? The other day they was reporting that there was an alligator in a sewer in America, but they didn't even know where in America it was, and they didn't even know where the bloody alligator went. I was like, what on earth is this all about? Come on. But I think it's crazy, you lot. And I don't know, put in the comments, tell me, what do you think? Some of you lot would have been alive and probably teenagers, because looking at the analytics for my channel, a lot of you, well, I think it's something like 36% of you lot are between 40 and 65, or 45 and 65. So some of you lot would definitely have been alive in the 70s and 80s, and you would definitely have been teenagers, or at least early teenagers. So what do you think? Were people happier back then, you know, before Facebook and general phones and technology, you know? I just think, man, personally myself, right, I tried to stay away. Don't get me wrong, I used to do computer programming, phone programming, I used to fix phones. I've done all of that. I do genuinely like technology. It's good fun if you use it properly. But I don't, you know, if I want something, I'll take a walk and I'll go down the shop to buy it, right? And I feel so good, yeah, when I'm walking along down the shop, or going in the shop, picking up what I want, buying it, pay for it, put it in my bag, walk home, put the bag on the kitchen top, take the stuff out the bag, you know? I feel really good. I feel really, really good. Sometimes if I can't find something, I'll buy it on the internet and I have to wait, and then it gets delivered. And I come home from work, open up the box, got what I've got. I don't really feel good about it. I've got what I need, brilliant. But I don't feel as good as I do when I go out. Now back in the 70s and 80s, you could order stuff, couldn't you? You had to get your little slip, tick what you wanted from the catalogue or whatever, send it off in the post, and then they'd send you the thing, send some money or whatever you had to do, your bank details off in the post, and then they'd send you the thing you've ordered. So you could order stuff, but it wasn't like it is nowadays. If you wanted something, you had to either walk down the shop or get in your car, if you had one, and go down to the shop and buy it. And if they didn't have it, you'd have to go to another shop, one that's further away or something like that, that did have it in stock, because you could ask them in the shop, have they got it in stock? And they'd phone up the other shop, have you got this in stock? And then you could go there. That is brilliant. I mean, I've had a week off of work and I took the kids down to the shop. We literally went down into Sainsbury's to buy some stuff. Yeah. Needed to get a new toothbrush and some toothpaste. I took the kids into the shop and I was feeling brilliant. The kids love it, you know, walking around. I don't know, man. Sometimes I think all this modern technology, Facebook, phones, Twitter, all the other stuff that comes with it, you know, and the fact that people can now work from their phone if they want to, you know, so they're constantly working. Instead of coming home from work and not thinking about work until Monday, they're coming home from work, phone's still going off, bling, 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 emails and all this other stuff. They're sitting there on their time off, they're flicking through work. So they're still thinking. That's why they're all stressed and miserable. Crazy world, you lot, very crazy world. I thought I'd just share that with you, because I turned this radio on just now, and it was like I'd lived in the 80s, even though I haven't lived in the 80s. Whenever I use something that's old, I feel like I've lived in that time. I get the sense of presence of being in that time, and I want to go back to that time, but I wasn't in that time. From reading these papers, this is the old paper from, what was it, 1989, that I found underneath the carpet in the bedroom. And just from reading it, you know, there's no like actual negative stuff in here. Like the reports aren't like of stabbings and murders and robbings and things like that. You know, it's just, there are some stuff that's happened, but it's not proper bad. Most of it in good humour, you know. There's a lot of funny articles and stuff in here, and you know, people seem to have bit of a better sense of humour back in those sort of days. Make up a little toolbox of stuff today. I've got some engine start. I wonder if you can guess what I'm doing. Wire brush. Now I've got to get a lawnmower going today, because it stopped working halfway through cutting some grass. And I reckon what they'd done was they'd picked up a can of 2-stroke petrol and they put that in it, and it ran for halfway through cutting the grass and then conked out. Started surging a bit and then conked out. Now I reckon it's not to do with a blocked carb, because a 4-stroke engine will run on 2-stroke petrol no problem. I reckon it's just failed the plug up and we've got no spark. So anyway, going to go there, clean it all out, see if I can get that going again and actually finish cutting the grass. So it's my job for today. Apparently, it looks like I might be getting a new diff for this little nitro car. Long story. If you want to know the actual story, you'll see it on the RC channel, Haggard RC. But yeah, so I might be getting a new diff for this coming in the post at some point soon, which will be very handy. And I'll better put all this together, and I better give this car a clean up. All I've got to do then is find some wheels to put on it. I might better stick a pair of these wheels on it, a set of these wheels on it for now, and then we'll give it a bit of a blast around. I've got to get some 2.4 gigahertz radio gear for it, and we'll be well away. This is a good car. It's about 20 years old now, probably around that sort of era. And yeah, can't wait to get that going. The problem was the screws stripped out on the diff. That's why it all fell apart. But yeah, probably excited about that. I've got new friction pads for me Alco tow hitch on the caravan. I've got to fit them at some point. I didn't realise, well, I didn't really even think anything of it, but when I first hitched it up, first ever time I hitched that caravan up to the car, I forgot to clean the grease off of the tow ball. I just wasn't thinking about it. It was quite late at night. Literally just went and bought the caravan from the people and put it on and went home. I completely forgot about the grease. You're not supposed to have grease. It weren't until I got home, well, not straight away after I got home, but it weren't until like I'd had the caravan for a few days, and I was thinking about bits and bobs, you know, and I went out there and I took the little cover off the tow ball on the car, and I thought, oh shit, man, I've left grease on it. That means that them friction pads are gonna have grease all over them. But I've put brake cleaner on them, and I've cleaned them all up. Put brake cleaner all inside the hitch, all everywhere, to get rid of all the grease and wiped it all out of the cloth. And they seem to be working on the old pads, but I think I might have got away with it. But they are definitely contaminated with grease, but they seem to be working. But I've got some new ones. They weren't exactly cheap, look. I bought some new ones from Towshaw, and yeah, I'm probably going to fit them anyway. It's always best to have things working as they're supposed to, you know. The other ones, the old ones, I did clean them up, but they would definitely be contaminated, you know. It probably would have absorbed into the, whatever that is, compound rubbery stuff. So it's probably best that I do change them anyway, but I'll do that at some point. I'll set that up. Yeah, and I've repaired the shelf from the fridge after that broke off, so I've got to go and put that back in the fridge. Nice. Proper loving life. Righto you lot, we've got ourselves a chainsaw here. I'm going to be off out of here now. The next video I'm going to do a will it run video on this chainsaw. So if you want to see whether this chainsaw is going to start or not, just stay tuned and check out that video. It's a Husqvarna 236. It's a lovely chainsaw. Sounds very nice. It's got the wrong bar protector on it, but yeah, it's been sitting around now for couple of years, so I might need to use it in the next few months. So going to get it up and running, make sure it's all good, make sure the chain's all good, and yeah, catch you lot later on. Thanks for watching, and ciao for now you lot, and remember, look after each other. We're all the same, we're all good. None of this bickering, none of this putting other people down just because they're different. We're all the same you lot, so take care.